Alright, so some friends and I are about to have our second meeting where we're talking about the book Puer, Ancient Caravans and Urban Chic. As you can probably hear, I have my water boiling. We're all going to be drinking the same tea, which is a 1998 YiWu aged raw pour from our friend Ben at Setting Sun Tea Hut, who should be there. Yeah, we'll check in after. Cool.
That makes the water's a little muddy, but if you drink it and you like it, then you're like, okay, who cares?
To wherever, like all those publicity stunt type tour things, like the caravan going all over the place. I think that had something to do with spreading the word about it and getting everyone going crazy about it.
In China, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I think the ball was already rolling on that, but it's like so the coming home of the Golden Melon, that was 2004. Right?
That's earlier than I thought.
Cool. So, like I mentioned, a few friends and I are reading this book, Puer Tea, Urban Chic, and excuse me, Ancient Caravans and Urban Chic. It's sort of this academic look at Puer Tea, identity, confusion, and sort of like cultural identity, all these different things. So we're reading like 2 chapters a week, and then we get together for a little video chat and discuss some of the things we've read to try to further understand them and put a little bit more context to what we're reading. And it's actually really proving to be an awesome way to read this book. I've read it a few times, and each time, as I know a little bit more about tea and just all the different factors around growing and selling and the different cultures around it, I learned so much more, and this has been a really cool way to engage with like all the things my friends know and all the things that I don't know, and sort of feels like it's helping push us all further with our knowledge, and it's really helping to illustrate some of the concepts that this book goes over. And one of the main concepts is sort of how Puer tea struggles to have like a true definition So for some people, puer tea is raw puer. Some people it's ripe puer. Some people it's aged puer. Some people it only comes from YiWu area. Some only from Munghai. And then within that, there's so many more things. And the word that comes up a lot is authenticity. What makes something real? Who makes something real? So we've had a lot of really cool discussions about that. And one way we've been trying to push that, but also put some actual practice to it, is drinking the same teas. So the tea we had last night was a white label tea, meaning a tea that was stored without like a front cover wrapper, I should say. So in many ways it's hard to authenticate it. Like, is this a real tea? Is this what it's being sold as? Is this what we're actually drinking? So it was just labeled as a 98 YiWu. And we have some speculation that it may not be. It may be from a slightly different area. But part of drinking it together was that it allowed us to have that discussion. Like, okay, is this authentic to what we know? Is this authentic through the knowledge we have? And then the bigger question is, does it matter? So we had a lot of really cool conversations around like how we enjoyed the tea, regardless of whether or not we knew if something was truly, quote, authentic or real. And yeah, it was a really cool way to like practice some of what we were reading and sort of engage with these topics in a new way. But yeah, it's really been a cool experience, and I would definitely suggest reading this book if you're into tea in general, but specifically puer tea. It gives you a good insight into maybe like a certain part of the marketplace, which might be more so like factory teas or things that are mass produced, but a lot of really great knowledge and just like a good overall view of sort of what actors, as the author says, are at play in the market of puer tea. So I'm actually drinking the same tea we had last night, just again by myself, just sitting with it. Yeah, it's a really tasty tea. I definitely suggest grabbing some. My friend Ben sells it. It's just super enjoyable. It's like definitely has some notes where it might have been a little more humid stored towards the beginning of its life. Like it's got some nice earthy, slight dankness, but not really like super wet. There's a subtle sweetness that sort of comes with the age, but definitely not like super florally sweet. But yeah, it's really tasty. It's one of the older teas that I have left. I've sort of drank a lot of my aged puer. One thing that I think is really interesting about this book is how it argues that puer has multiple authenticities, and I think that's something really interesting about puer specifically. It's like a really difficult tea to describe to people because there are so many different like subcategories within it, so many different mountains, so many different villages, so many different flavors, that I think that's just such a interesting and unique part of it that's really special. And I think that's a really almost like powerful way to talk about it. It is something that's almost escapes definition in different ways. I'll throw the little fun fake syllabus I made for our reading group up in this video so you can see. Yeah, it's fun just to read a couple chapters a week, have our discussions, and then we're going to do a little project at the end where we sort of interpret what we've read and either make a little report, like a slideshow or an essay, or we could do a little art project of sorts. So hopefully I can share some of those a little later on. Thanks.